and that's going to be just after Thanksgiving, so people can stay, with their family for Thanksgiving. And I'm going to be there for another about 2.5 weeks after that. And it's each person according to their schedule. Everyone has responsibilities at home. And then we're going to be having nightly meetings. We've asked them to set, and that's no problem for them because this pastor, Pastor Sanchez, has about 150 pastors under him. So there's lots of places to go. Everybody wants you in their area to preach the gospel. They all want you to. They're very hungry. They're very humble. Services are pretty well run the same. Worship services. And we're going to have Pastor Bossidy, not every message, but preach a lot of the messages. So say, for example, he's here for 12 nights. So probably preaching 7 or 8 times during that 12 nights, depending on who's there and how many people are there. Like if the other pastors are the exact same schedule, we'll probably almost have them shared. I'll maybe minister once or twice. There's no churches who want to hear from different people. But somebody, when they're there, they're going to be used by God. So they're going to take the effort to go about 7,500 miles in the air. They're going to be preaching the gospel, and then God's going to move the same way that He would move here. But the people are very humble. They're very hungry for God, and the opportunities that you say, well, is this a safe nation? No, I'm not going to say it's a safe nation. We're living in the last days. The problem with India is India actually government is fine for religious freedom. Like if you got in, and I don't know their government documents. But their government is fine. They allow total religious freedom. But the problem is their president is not fine right now. And they're going to be having a vote coming up, I think, next year. We need to pray that he's voted out. Because he is anti-Christian, he's anti-Muslim. He wants a purely Hindu state. So the laws are fine, but the president is not fine concerning the gospel. So that's where the problem is in India for the last several years. So the persecution has got worse. So should you fear? No. But should you pray? Yes. Does it mean that every church immediately when they have a meeting is broken up? No, that doesn't happen very often. It does happen. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but is it safe to hear? Can anybody promise you you're going to be fine? Can anybody say, well, you're not going to get into an accident on the way home? No. So we need to pray about everything we do. You could have public meetings. There's no problem with that. They do start to have an issue with Hindus being converted, but there are millions of Hindus who've been converted, and the churches are still there. But you need to keep in prayer that God will put protection. But don't expect every meeting the police to show up and to be arrested. I'm not saying it can't happen. This is not North Korea. In North Korea, it is not safe whatsoever. In North Korea, if you go preach in the public, you will be visited. You will probably be in jail that night. That is not to that level. But the problem in India, like I said, is because of the president himself, and he needs to be saved. He needs to be delivered. It's a Hindu nation. What the Hindus believe in about over 3 million gods. And so this will start to grieve you when you're there, but you got to look past that and turn that into a burden for the people. Everything's of God. They would probably, honestly, they would probably worship Pastor Bossidy. I'm just telling you, if God started doing a miracle. I know we don't they don't do that, but it's just they believe everything's of God. You may see them worshiping trees, and you'll hear them sometimes in the Hindu temples. We don't hear it all the time. You hear like late into the night them calling upon idols for help for their life. And so what you need to do is take that, what you're seeing, and turn it into more of a burden, more prayer at night, more prayer early in the morning, and then more of a passion to reach the people. Hallelujah. But the thing about safety is any place you go, even the United States, but more when you go into some of these other places, is you stay close to your host. You have somebody who knows language. You have somebody who knows the area. You have someone who's lived there their whole life. And then that is, beside God, is a great form of protection. They know what, like, the things to do and not to do. Like, God sent me into Pakistan, more dangerous than India. Now, when you go into Pakistan, you don't want to just stand there and step on a Korean. Not a good move. You don't want to go into the streets of Karachi and start speaking against Muhammad. It's not going to be a good move. If you don't care about your own safety, you should care about those with you. So there's certain things you do and certain things you don't do. Like, you can freely preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. It's just, you're not going to be sitting there and tearing down what the Hindus believe in public. That's not going to be promoting your safety. But you can still preach in Jesus Christ. You can bring the gospel. You don't have to even fear, because the Holy Spirit doesn't make a mistake. But the best thing about safety anywhere is, like, say, for example, if you went to go into New York City, would it be really good to go at like 2 in the morning with money dropping out of your pockets in a bad neighborhood? Not a good idea. But if you went into, say, like Manhattan during the day, went shopping, you're probably going to return safe. It's the same thing. You went to these countries. If you stay with your host, you go, you're really typically not going to have a problem. Not saying anything couldn't happen, but your best form of safety is staying very close to those that live there, that know where to go, when to go. Like, would you feel comfortable going into certain areas of India, like say a jungle area by yourself?
No.
Probably not a good idea because they have Bengal tigers there. Okay. Yeah, exactly. But there's probably not going to be one within maybe 50 miles where we're at. So you just need to be able to stay with the people. No, you just don't do certain things. You know, it's the same in the United States. You just don't go certain places at certain times. I wouldn't think it would be too wise to go into a very bad neighborhood in Washington, D.C. and start shouting racial slurs. You're going to get yourself in trouble. So it's the same thing when you go to these countries. If you stay close to those who are there, they know what should be done, what should not be done, and God will protect you. But I don't want to make you think like something is going to happen, but I do want you to be in prayer, because that is an issue with that country. Safety is a major issue everywhere right now, but it's not like they love Americans. Also, they absolutely love Americans. They love foreigners, and they believe that you're anointed. They believe that if God has sent you there, God is going to use you, and that when you touch Him, I shared that this morning in prayer, they're going to receive the healing, they're going to receive the miracle. So Pastor Bossidy, myself, you get honored there. I've been highly honored in this church, and thank you so much. But you will get more honor in these countries than you've ever seen in your life. You will, and I'm not going to tell you all the surprises, but okay, I will tell you one thing that happened one place. And I'm not going to say this is going to happen here, because this was actually with a different pastor I was working with. They brought us in, and a lot of times they give you garlands, which you've probably seen some photos of that. They put a garland around you, very, very nice. But then they brought us to the front, and they washed our feet in buffalo milk. So you can expect anything to happen. Another place we went one time, they said, "Oh, don't get out of the car, don't get out of the car." I know, okay, what's going on? They said, "Not yet." Well, you know, okay, get out now. When we stepped out, they had firework explosions going down. Literally, like 100 yards down the street, like explosions, like, oh my Lord. Then we walk in, and as we walk in, all the girls are throwing flower petals in our heads. Like, this is amazing. They're all throwing flower petals in our heads. So you can expect some surprises. But if you want to get like photo opportunities, this is the place. The colors are beautiful. So if you're even like a low-level photographer, you can still get good photos. If you're medium, you get better. If you're a good photographer, you're just going to have to watch out you don't get too many photos. And like, you know, if you're not the paparazzi, you can slow down a little bit. So, but the thing is whenever the Lord calls you, He spoke to me this. I'll tell you this what happened. Because I was thinking like, okay, God, you're sending me to Pakistan. This is like Bin Laden's backyard, preaching to terrorists. He's going to have me preaching on the streets of Karachi. This is a Muslim country of 20 million people. I'm going to be preaching, Lord willing, when I get my visa, 1 kilometer right where they had a terrorist bombing and killed 25 people. That's where I'm staying. I'm there, Lord, what's going on? I mean, I don't mind. He hasn't told me to go to North Korea, but I will go if He sends me. He hasn't sent me there yet. But He spoke to me clearly. And just take this by faith. He told me, the Holy Spirit told me clearly, He said it would not be to my advantage to not bring you back home, because I'm going to send you, I'm going to bring you back home to have further assignments for you. Amen. So this is what happened concerning safety. They could not kill Jesus before His time. Yeah. It was not possible. He walked out of the midst of them. They could not even see Him. It's like He wasn't even there. Peter, the same thing. It was their plan to kill Peter the next day because they had killed James, and the Jews liked it, so they were going to kill Peter. They could not kill Peter because it was not his time yet. God sent an angel and set him free. There were 16 guards. Doors started opening. Chains started falling off. Peter was sleeping. Okay, you're going to be killed in the morning. Let's have a good sleep tonight. What do you want to do? Be nice and awake for your execution? He was sleeping. The angel woke him up. So when God sends you, He's going to bring you back home again safe. Nothing is going to happen to you, because when God sends you, He has further work for you. He has further assignment. So He is going to coordinate the whole thing, so you will be returned. So yes, some things do happen in these countries, but the percentage is actually very, very small. Compared to, like in India, I shared last time, right now, according to the UN statistics, last time I heard, there was 1,348,000,000 people. So, like, if you hear, well, something happened, hear something, yes, it happens, but it's a very rare occurrence. Like, in the one city we're going to be entering into, they have a church of 100,000 people there in that one church. So don't expect to say, oh, they were there and all the churches were burnt out. It's not to that level. In North Korea, it is to that level. But in India, there should be a concern about safety everywhere you go. You should be concerned about safety as you're driving in the United States, as you're going into your home. But it is something to make as a matter of prayer.